Okay, this is the follow-on tutorial from the manipulated text one. Although you can use it as a standalone as well, but this is actually the one that's meant to follow on. Right, so if I just click onto Illustrator, so now that you have created your artwork or logo, or whatever it is in Illustrator, you might want to do more editing to it in Photoshop. So what you need to do is go to File and Save As. I'm just going to call it another name. I'm going to just save it onto my desktop for now, and I'm going to save it as a PDF. Okay, and then close down Illustrator. And then I'm going to open up Photoshop. So if your Photoshop is in here at the bottom of the screen, you just go to your spyglass and type it in. And then you can open up your PDF. Okay, so at this point, what you'll have is your text will be visible. That is your only layer, and but you have no white layer behind it or anything else. So what I'm going to do is just going to show you how to sort of put a layer in, and then if you were going to upload this straight onto your Tumblr or onto your Sway, we'd probably need a bigger white box, because at the minute it's just cut straight around right to the edges of the letters. Now, you may know of a quicker way to do this, and you probably do, that's fine, but I'm just going to do it the way that I know. So what I would do is right click, duplicate the layer, go on to the bottom layer. Now actually at this point you could hide the top layer, go to the bottom layer, go to the marquee tool, draw a box around it, get a paintbrush, some white. You could paint bucket it, but you'd have to do every little bit, so I just would do this instead. Okay. Paint that in, and then when you go and see the top layer again, you've now got it with a white background. So I'm going to Command and Z to get rid of those white ants, matching ants rather, and then what I'm going to do now is do layer and flatten that down. I'm going to go to image and image size. Okay, that sounds about right. So about 15, resolution 300 pixels per inch. You need to be wary, because when you're going to do your new document, it needs to be the same, and then you're going to make the width and the height like a little bit bigger. Okay, so just go File and make sure you've kind of saved it. So I've got distort to JPEG, same place, and then File and New. Yours will look slightly different. I'm on a slightly older computer, slightly older. It's Photoshop 6, so yours will look slightly different to this, but it's essentially exactly the same. So the width I'm going to make 20, the height 10, and again I'm going to make a resolution 300 pixels per inch. That's I'll just put that in as empty box. Then I'm just going to, so I've just clicked around it, I've just clicked on the box and drew a box around it, clicked on the drag tool and dragged it into empty box. And to here now you can see now that you've got plenty of white space to sort of play with. So what I would do is again, flatten it, I'm going to crop it, I'm going to put in, I'm going to take out the numbers. I think I'll probably just do it by eye. Take out the numbers, and then just bring it to the point that you want it, which is quite nice there. Tick that. Command and D, and sorry, not Command and D, let's go back to your drag tool. And then what I would do is, if this is going to go onto a sway with a white background, you might want to keep the little box around it just to give it a really nice composition, because otherwise it might just end up like a little word floating in a vast kind of white background. So what you're going to do is you're going to right click, duplicate the layer, down to FX, and stroke. At the minute it's 3 pixels, it's probably a bit too much for sway, so I think probably get away with 1. Make sure position is outside, and actually inside. And the colours, whatever you want it to be, so I'm just going to keep it black, but you can, you know, obviously choose whichever colour you want. Yeah, just to recap, it has to be, position has to be on the inside, and then, okay. So let me just make the background white so you can see. So you'll have a nice little kind of box around it. So on your sway, it just doesn't look kind of, you know, empty or like really small in a big white background. Okay, and then finally, flatten it. Image size. It just double check everything's okay. It's not like really, you know, too big. So yeah, it's fine. 16, yeah, and 300 resolution. That's fine. And file and save as, and whatever you want to call it. So save it to wherever you want to. It would be better if it was on your Apple Card, and then save it as a JPEG. And that's it. So if that's finished, or then once you get into Photoshop, you can then start, you know, editing a bit more, putting different colours in the background. But essentially, you save it as a PDF, and then you open it up as a PDF, and then work on it from there. Okay, and this is the end of this tutorial.